Hey, we're live. Good to see you guys. It has been a week since I've been on. I've been dying to connect and just hear how you guys are doing. And are you growing in the way you're thinking? Are you really starting to challenge those negative success sabotaging thoughts? I hope you are. Today, we're going to talk all about how to think, act, and be like a seven-figure entrepreneur. This is something I'm wildly passionate about because I've been able to walk it out myself, being a stressed success, six-figure entrepreneur to growing and not being in that place and actually being able to work on my business instead of in my business. And I want to teach others how to do that too, because I want to see you get your vision and your mission and your passion out to the world. And I don't want to see you like stretched thin, pulled in so many directions, working in your business, having an employee mindset. I want to see you break through from that and shatter that seven-figure ceiling. So today we're going to talk all about that. If we don't know each other, my name is Dr. Shannon Irvin. I am a business mentor. I help entrepreneurs like you grow and scale their businesses to 7 or 8 figures, but more importantly, so that you can have more impact, more influence, and more time back in your life. And that is, to me, what a definition of success is. So that's what ignites me. That's what excites me. I don't have the bandwidth to be able to take on any more one-on-one clients. And so I want to be able to help you take those baby steps towards thinking and acting and living from that place of possibility instead of your current circumstances, which is keeping you trapped and not getting you to that place of impact, influence, and ultimately to seven figures. So let me know that you're here. Jump on with me. Tell me where you're from. If you're catching this on the replay, say #replay. And I just want to dive in today. So tell me if this is you. You want to grow your business to seven figures. Not just for the money, but you actually want to be able to have a bigger impact and bigger influence. You want to influence people for the better. You have a mission and vision that needs to get out to more and more people. And you feel like getting through that seven-figure ceiling will allow you to do that. But right now, I've got to imagine you feel a little overwhelmed, a little stretched thin, like everything relies on you and you have to be present and you're being pulled in like a million different directions and you have a hard time focusing because you don't know which priority is the most top priority to get you to be able to scale. And then when we start talking about scaling, if you're in that position that I just described, and I'd love to know in the comments if you are, it's almost like you feel like, gosh, Shannon, I would love to scale my business, but like I'm so stretched thin, I can't even imagine creating the time to be able to scale it. Like I don't even know the first steps. So if that's you, I've got thumbs up in there. That's what it feels like. So give me some hearts, give me some like thumbs up if that's what you're feeling like, that tug of war of having to work so much in the business that you don't have time to work on the business. Feeling that conflict because you want to scale, when you want to grow to that next level and you feel like you just kind of keep hitting a brick wall, right? Well, be encouraged because one of the things that I am hugely passionate about is helping you tap into the power of the way your brain is wired. Yes, I have a background in neuropsychology. No, I'm not that smart. I just had to solve a massive problem in my life. And I'm one of those people that took it to the extreme and ended up getting a doctoral degree in it. So yeah, that's called a little crazy, a little obsessive, kind of like a mad scientist. But I was in that situation I just described. I had, a couple businesses going. I had my son at the time was really, really young. I had my nonprofit going and I felt that overwhelmed, stress, success, but yet I could see there were 7 and 8 figure entrepreneurs that had the life that I actually wanted and were enjoying it. And I saw them out surfing and spending time with their family. And I'm like, dang, like how do they have a business like that and still have that freedom, that ability to spend their time with the people that they're growing their business for? And they're having these huge impacts, right? And these huge influence in the world and on me. And so I really started working with some of those people and then really took it to the next level and went and studied neuropsychology and really began to understand what is different about people who can do that and what is different about people who don't. And then I created through that process what's called the 7-figure framework. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that at the end. I have a live masterclass coming up where you can learn this entire framework, because I get so frustrated because I just don't have the bandwidth to take on any more one-to-one clients. And this is what I use with the hundreds of clients that I've had over the years, where I've helped them scale from 6 to 7 and even 8 figures. But more important than that, they've had a great word, Shan, a bigger impact, a bigger influence in their niche, and really being able to help the most amount of people, right? So what's the first piece of this thinking and acting and being like a 7-figure entrepreneur? The first piece is you got to remove the blocks that are in your way, because without removing these blocks that you don't even maybe know that you have, it's going to keep you trapped in a thinking that's not going to get you to where you want to go. So some of them, and we can't dive into all of them, but I want you to be thinking about these. What are your beliefs? Let me backtrack a little bit. Here's how the brain is wired. The way we believe becomes what we think. And the way we think becomes our thoughts, become our actions. And our actions, or our thoughts become what we focus on. And what we focus on becomes our actions. And then our actions verify the beliefs. And then it just becomes this cyclical thing. So imagine at that beginning part, and all of that creates your identity and what you believe about yourself and what you believe about your business. And so you can see in that cyclical piece, if what you believe is false, then the thoughts about that is going to be false. And then the way you focus is not going to be accurate. And then the actions that you take are going to work toward your belief, not toward what you want. And then therefore your actions are not going to get you where you want it to go. You'll be in conflict. So ask yourself this question. What is it that I believe about money? Is money the root of all evil, or is money the key to helping people? What do I believe? What are the stories that you have around failure? If I fail, it means what about me? Fill that in, because that is going to be key to you starting to unravel those roadblocks that are in your subconscious, guys. That's the thing. You've got to start asking yourself the questions and start allowing this beautiful part of your brain called the reticular activating system to start helping you bring it out of the subconscious and into your conscious mind. So what are your thoughts about money? What are your thoughts about failure? What are your thoughts about success? When someone is successful, they help millions of people become better at what they do, or they use people and ruin people's lives. There's a drastically different thing. And you've probably experienced this. You get close to a success and then boom, like you sabotage yourself. The reason that happens, you lose focus, you procrastinate. Those things are defense mechanisms because your beliefs are not aligning with what you're trying to do, your actions. So that first step is really understanding your stories about success, about failure, about money, about impact, about influence, and asking yourself those questions and allowing yourself to be aware of what are the stories? What did you hear growing up? What are those things? And we're going to dive in the masterclass. We're going to dive deep into how to remove those. The second part is you can't shoot for a goal. Think about your GPS, right? It's like if you wanted to end up in Salt Lake City, Utah, and you just told your GPS, go to Utah, you can end up in an entirely different place than you wanted to be. And this is what I see happen all the time with so many entrepreneurs. They will say, I want to be a success. I want to grow a 7-figure business, but yet they haven't defined what that means. Success means something different to all of us. And that's the key. Like, have you sat down with a piece of blank paper and a pencil and asked yourself these questions? I wrote them down because I wanted to make sure that I didn't miss any of them. What does success look like for you? When you are at whatever that big goal is, if it's a 7-figure business, or a certain level of impact or influence, when you're there, who are you? Who are you? Who are you spending your time with? What are you doing? What are you doing in your business? What are you not doing in your business? Who are you being? What kind of actions are you taking? What are you doing? Where are you spending your time? Are you taking vacations? Have you defined that entire picture? Because guys, this is super important, and this happens a lot. I'll have 7-figure, very successful entrepreneurs come to me just hitting big goals and saying, I don't feel successful. And that's because we are integrated human beings. And if we do not understand that, we will maybe get to a monetary success and feel miserable because our marriage is out of alignment and we sacrificed our entire family in order to get there through hustle. I don't believe in that. And so, but that's my personal definition of success. Yours might be different. You have to know what that is so you can plug it into the GPS and take that next step toward living. Tony Robbins says this great. I think his exact quote is living from possibility and potential. Literally stepping into what we just defined. Who are you? Imagine you're there already. What actions are you taking? Who are you being? And I can tell you, it's going to be different for all of us. If you're just trying to hustle to make that money, just to make the money, and you'll sacrifice your family, that success is going to look entirely different from the success that I define, which is I want to spend time with my family. I want to be there for my kids. I want my marriage to be strong, and I want to impact and influence millions of entrepreneurs so that they can have this kind of level of freedom in their business and in their life. Really having a life that they love and a business that they're loving and that's scaling and growing and having that kind of impact. So you can see how we're all different. So defining that success and what you want it to be, even down to your team, like you say you're at 7 and mid 7 figures. What kind of team do you have? Are you an introvert and you don't want to be sitting in a room full of people talking to them for 8 hours a day? Is that you? Well, define that, because what would be the worst thing in the world for you is to end up with this amazing business and a team that you're constantly around that you feel overwhelmed with because it's just too many words in the day. So really defining out that success. And then the next piece of the puzzle is, and it's true, I have to say hands down from me, for all of my clients, and from some amazing entrepreneurs that I've had the blessing to interview on Epic Success Podcast, I ask this question all the time. What is the key piece that you feel broke you through to that next level? And without a doubt, if I look at every single one of them and their answers to that question, it is always, I stepped into the person that I needed to be before I was there. I became dedicated because I knew that's what a 7-figure entrepreneur did. I became consistent because I knew that's what they had to do. They shifted. They started to really cultivate a real strong 7-figure mindset and being that person. That is where they want to be, but being that now and stepping into that now and working from that place now. Yes, you have to keep your eyes on the present, obviously, but here's the thing. Some amazing studies from Oxford University has just released that discusses this cognitive neuroscience, and it is defined through PET imaging scans that what you believe influences your success. It's called top-down bias of attention. So what you believe changes what you focus on, and that change creates a different level of success. And this has actually been proven now through neuroscience. So it's no longer like this esoteric, just step into your future, woo-woo stuff. It's like, no, this is what's going on in your brain. And in that same study, they had a group of people that they fed the negative sabotaging beliefs, the stories that I talked to you about. And it was amazing, the difference in results. They were in 2 different planes in terms of success in the study. And that is because our brains are always going to look to automate what we focus on. So we can either focus on the stories subconsciously and never get there, or we can remove those. We can start thinking and acting and being the person that has already gotten to the place that we want to be, and allow our brain to start hardwiring that. And therefore, you see opportunities different, you focus differently, you think differently, and that increases your belief, and then that belief increases your thinking, and that thinking increases your focus, and then that focus increases your actions. Do you see how this just all rolls together? So type in yes, that sounds amazing. And it's not too good to be true, guys. It's not. This is something that I really stumbled upon based on complete and utter desperation, and then studied through neuroscience, and then developed little by little by little. And it is something that works time after time as you move into being that business that you want to be for the impact and the influence that you want to have in this world. So I really want to challenge you today to start looking at those stories, asking yourself about the stories that you have about success, about failure, about money, about impact, about influence, because those are going to really derail you if you don't uncover those. And then define that success, what it looks like, who you are, who you're being, what kind of actions you're taking. Write it out. Don't just do it in your mind. That is not going to get it into the part of your brain that's actually going to start seeing it clearly. So you've got to pull it out and write it down and really define it and start practicing that, just like you practice an instrument, just like you practice at the gym, just like you practice soccer. You practice that way of thinking in every single decision you make. And yes, it'll feel uncomfortable. That's okay, right? It's okay to feel uncomfortable to get to where you want to go, right? You're not the kind of person that's just going to be like, no, I only want the easy way. No, of course it's going to feel uncomfortable. Like, think about the last time, sorry guys, but the last time you threw on like a dress that was totally different than your normal style. Feels weird, right? But so what? Like, let's get you to that next place, and then the feelings follow, right? Your feelings, those emotions, they follow. They can be tricky though. And that's why really eliminating those stories so that you have a clear slate to allow your brain to hardwire is key. So listen, I want to teach you so much more about this. So I would love for you to jump on my coming up masterclass. It's May 23rd and 24th. It is called Shatter, the 7-Figure Ceiling without more hours, more energy, and more effort. And I'm going to go through the step-by-step process I use with my one-on-one clients, and just going to go into depth and give you some real actionable steps that you can put into place right away and start to really get yourself toward thinking and acting and being that 7-figure entrepreneur that you want to be. I would love to see you there. I'll pop the link into the comments, but if you want to jump there now, it's drshannonirvin.com/register. drshannonirvin.com/register. Love to see you there on that masterclass where I am going to just really do an amazing training, because I want you to get this and really make this the best year of growth and scaling for your business and for your life. Love seeing you today. Definitely leave me a comment. Would love to hear your thoughts on how your stories and how you are going to start to define the success that you want to have in this life, because you only get one while you're here. You'll be there, Peter. That's great to hear. All right. See you there, and we'll talk soon. Bye.